In the last section, we set up the GUI. Now, let's set about making the GUI actually work. The first thing we need are a couple of variables, one for how much energy the player has, and one for how many crabs we've squashed. We're going to make these global variables. Global variables should only be used sparingly and avoided if possible. This is because variables that can be accessed from anywhere in your project can lead to bugs. You can create something which changes a variable, forget about it, change it again somewhere else, and before you know it, you're in all sorts of trouble. But global variables fit our purpose perfectly in this case, because that's actually what we want. We want every crab to be able to reduce the life of the player, and we want every battery to be able to increase the life of the player, okay? So a lot of nodes in the game need access to these variables. The second reason is we want to remember what the life of the player is and how many crabs have been squashed between levels, okay? So we can't store these values on each level because they will be wiped or renewed when we exit one level and change another. So we need to create a script that belongs to the game itself that can remember how much life the player has and how many crabs have been squashed wherever you are in the game. Let's do that now. So what I want to do is go into project settings. Then I'm going to go into auto load, which I've already got selected. Just click on it if it's not selected. And I need to come up with a name for my script, and I'm going to call it global. You could call it game or call it anything you want. Click add. I want an empty script. Yep, that's good. Click create. And there's my script. And it belongs to the game. So anything else in the game can access it and read and modify the variables, which is what we want in this case. I'm going to open the script. Here it is. I'm going to expand that. And all I want is a couple of variables. So I want a variable for the energy of the player. And I'm going to start the game with maybe 70% energy. That way I can have a battery immediately accessible and the player can collect the battery and immediately notice that that's how you increase your energy. And I want another variable for enemies destroyed. And obviously I'm going to start the game with 0 enemies destroyed. And that's that. So save it. And it'll save it right in the root of the game. So that's good. I'm going to shrink this. Now we need a script for the scoreboard to tell it to read these values and display them. So I want to go to GUI. Want to go into this icon here, attach a new or existing script. Click it. Empty script again, that's good. Going to save it with the GUI, that's good. Excellent. And I just want 2 functions. One to update the energy, which I'll call func update energy, parentheses, colon, and all I want is I want to get hold of my energy bar first, so I use the $, and if I start to type it, it should give me the choice of it there. So control energy. And then what do I want to change in that node? Well, I want to change the value. And what do I want to change it to? Global dot energy, which it should give me the option to do here. Okay, so to access global variables from anywhere in the game, you just use that global prefix. Okay, and we need to do another one, which is update enemies destroyed. Bit of a long name, but no doubt what it actually does, this particular function. Slightly more complicated than the last one. Again, we want a reference to, this time, our label. So again, we use the $, and if I just start typing label, I should get control.label. And this time I want control label dot text. It's the text attribute that I want, and it will equal global dot enemies destroyed. But that won't actually work. The reason that won't actually work is because we are updating a text box, so we need a string. Enemies destroyed is a number. So I'm going to put some brackets or parentheses around that, and I'm just going to write str there. That means it will take the variable global enemies destroyed, which is a number, and turn it into a string, which will mean you can display it here. Okay. We want this to happen when the game starts, so we do need a ready function. So I am going to call those when the game starts. Update enemies destroyed and update energy. No, energy. Now if I play the scene, we should at least see that the energy bar is now 70 rather than 50. So I'm in my GUI, go into 2D. If I press the little clapper board, you can see that the life bar has moved along and is now 70%. We've still got 0 for our crab squash because obviously we set that to 0 in the script. Okay, but I'm going to call that progress. In the next section, we will enable the enemies and the hazards and the collectibles to change the values here. I hope to see you there.